He
Who
was
he
talking about.
who he
Huh?
back who did he back up?
He backed up O'Connell and he backed up Brady Allen at Purdue.
O'Connell, sneaky, gonna be good in the NFL. That's my
Dude,
prediction.
we were talking about that. Aiden O'Connell got the best situation for him. He's behind a guy who came in the league as a non-starter. Like it's so interesting.
And I like Jaron Hall. I
Oh,
watched him.
I hate that. I hate that pick with a burning passion. It
Well,
is not as bad. It's not as bad though as Sean Clifford. That was quite literally the worst pick ever. Somebody deserves to get fired if that doesn't work out.
Oh, I forgot about my main take actually from the draft. My main take is that was before he got arrested and all of that. I was saying Stetson Bennett is better than C.J. Stroud. But he went in the
Oh,
fourth round, so it doesn't seem like. I
the
mean, it's still crazy, but it doesn't seem as crazy now.
the fact that the Rams went on Twitter and said that they would have taken him at pick number one if they had pick
No,
number
they
one
didn't.
was kind of a little overboard.
They said that.
Yes, their GM said it too in a press conference. Actually, I need to shut my door quick. I'm getting ready.
I feel like he's trolling.
What'd you say?
I feel like what's his name, Les Snead, got to be trolling.
Dude, they are. All right, I did put it in the group me since it's like the last episode that will probably go public in the group me. I don't know. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
All righty, we are back. Episode number 28. We're getting close to 30. We're getting close to 30. We have a lot to talk about today. As always, I'm joined though by Dallas Turner, Adam Louder, Rishi Chandran, and I'm here as well, in mind and body. Hope finals are going good for everybody. If you have some left, we're rooting for you. You're almost to the finish line. I think almost everyone here is finished. I hope so, at least. But we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, the NFL draft wrapped up just about 5 days ago, so we have a lot to talk about. I got a couple talking points. We're gonna go over some things. Who's good, who's bad, who's got a little bit to gain. And then, of course, the NBA playoffs continue to heat up. We're going back to that last week's form of the hashtag form because I thought it was pretty funny. And I think these playoffs have been interesting. So, we're going to talk about it. We're also going to give our hashtag and probably give a little more in depth. And then I came up with a new point this week because, new segments are always fun. It's called Talking Points. I may have stole this from a combination, but I just went with some interesting conversations I've been seeing on Twitter, some interesting conversations I've been hearing in mass media. One of them is kind of interesting. I will make a little spin on it when we get to the question because it was answered by a NBA analyst and it was pretty interesting. But let's get into the post-draft reactions. Of course, we have to talk about it. Who had the best team draft and what is your grade for it? Whoever would like to start, go first.
My answer is pretty easy. I'm going with Seattle. I mean, just looking at their first round, they got potentially cornerback one, potentially wide receiver one. You pick up Zach Charbonnet in the second round, and then I watched a lot of Mike Morris and Olu Oluwatimi this year with Michigan, and I'm pretty shocked that especially Olu Oluwatimi was a fifth rounder. I didn't realize he was going to go that late in the draft. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. I mean, obviously, if I'm picking them as my favorite draft, I'm going to give them an A. But I'm feeling really good about the Seahawks going into the season. I think they're going to be really good this year.
I gave them an A plus. They absolutely drilled positional value in this draft. Like you get corner number 2. You drafted quite literally one of the better corners as a rookie last year. You get Derek Hall, fantastic bendy edge player. You've revamped an offensive line, which has been struggling over the past couple of years, I would say, and kind of lost an identity. You got 2 young guards to kind of fill in behind those 2 young tackles that you're going to be playing this year. Mike Morris. They got Cameron Young from Mississippi State. They got Kenny McIntosh, which was a steal of the 7th round. Like, barring the fact that he is an injured player, he's a great running back and someone you can kind of just toss in there. You got Charbonnet and him now behind Kenneth Walker, who was a dominant rookie running back. I don't know if Seattle could have done any better. I don't know if there was any better picks.
I agree.
Dallas or Adam?
I have 2 teams that I really like. I kind of just want to go for the layup, but also I'm going to go for the layup, but also mention my honorable mention, the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are in an interesting position. The Eagles are able to take guys, because they're a good team already, they're able to take the guys that are falling really far and that people might have concerns about. So like Jalen Carter, people have concerns about his character. Does it really matter if he is great or not? Are the Eagles still going to be good? Yes, there's no pressure. It's the best situation for him. They get Keely Ringo in the 4th round somehow. Like he was dropping. Maybe other teams saw a reason why he was dropping so low, and the Eagles are like, why not? Like, it's not the biggest deal if he doesn't work out. He'll be in a good winning situation already. They were able to take a lot of the value picks, just the best player available. And, if it doesn't work out, it's not the biggest deal because they're already a good team. So they can take guys like Jalen Carter. They can find Nolan Smith, who was dropping in a lot of people's draft boards. They can find Keely Ringo. They can get – I like the Sidney Brown pick in the 3rd round as well. Like, I just love that their position, that they were just like, hey, even though this guy may have some concerns from other teams, we're just going to take him and see if we can get the best out of him. Because if we can, we might have some really good players deep in the draft here. So, I like it. But my honorable mention is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do like the Steelers draft a lot. Broderick Jones think is a great offensive tackle. Joey Porter in the 2nd is really good value I think he was like a top 3 corner in this draft to me. I really like Joey Porter. Darnell Washington in the 3rd. That's really good value. I like their draft as well.
What'd you give the Eagles draft?
I gave the Eagles draft A+. I think they got the best guy.
I gave it the highest grading out of every draft when I put it on my board. I gave it an A++. Like they got the extra credit question right too on that exam. I thought no one was going to say the Steelers. I thought I was going to be sneaky and get a Steelers takeoff, but it didn't happen. Dallas, you can go. I'll hold my.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I didn't want to say the Steelers, but the Steelers did excellent. As a Bengals fan, it hurts to see, but the Steelers did get a lot better than draft. But I'll go with another team that I just personally like the draft. I don't know if it's the best overall, but I like it. I love what the Chicago Bears did in this draft. I think the trade out of number 1 to get DJ Moore was obviously very good. And then the only bad, you trade back, you could have got Jalen Carter. People's mad about that, but they pick up an offensive tackle, which they need, in Darnell Wright. They get a defensive tackle in the 2nd round in Gervin Dexter. I love Tyreek Stevenson in the 2nd round as well. Another defensive lineman, Zach Pickens. Roshan Johnson from Texas, very good running back. Even though he was behind Bijan, he can produce well. Noah Sewell in the 5th round, linebacker from Oregon, Penne's brother. He fell to the 5th round. People were projecting him pretty much higher last year. Had an in season at Oregon, but he has potential there. So I really like what the Bears did. I'm going to give them an A-, just because probably could have been a few better picks, maybe. But I think the Bears got a little bit better and younger on defense, which is what they needed. And that obviously the trade for DJ Moore out of number 1 was exactly what they needed on offense before the draft started. So I love what the Bears are doing.
You guys basically took all my takes. I'm surprised there's not a Colts take from either Dallas or Adam, but the Colts got graded an A+ on almost A or A+ on almost every draft service I read. Well, you guys basically took all my picks. So I'm going to go with the team that not a lot of people were high on, and it's the New York Football Giants in a division where I thought The Eagles drafted really well. The Giants played second fiddle to that. They took a lot of positional value needs. They took Deontay Banks, great corner, lengthy, rangy corner. They got John Michael Schmitz, graded as one of the highest centers in this draft, to a team that has struggled on the offensive line. I have not fallen in love with the Jalen Hyatt pick because there's literally 4 wide receivers on this roster right now that are literally Jalen Hyatt copy and pasted, i.e. Isaiah Hodgins, Wandale Robinson. Like it's going to be interesting. I think he's a field stretcher, but I'm interested to see where he kind of fits in. Eric Gray, backup running back out of Oklahoma. Solid pick. I like Trey Hawkins out of Old Dominion. I don't know if many people grinded his tape. I did watch a little bit of it just because I was interested. Gervarius Owens, safety out of Houston, probably going to be a third stringer. Jordan Riley adds another depth piece to this defensive line. I thought it was a great draft. I gave it an A-. I did have a lot of honorable mentions to go back. I do think the Steelers had the second best draft in all of the draft. I'm just saying this out loud because people don't realize it, that they got better in every position that they were bad at last year. And in a division that has been looking like a gauntlet to run through right now, you got Broderick Jones, lengthy, freak athlete of an offensive lineman. You traded a bag of chips to get up. I like Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin. Darnell Washington, the late third round, is crazy. Nick Herbig, also a guy, got a lot of juice in the tank. His brother's on the team. Corey Trice, cornerback out of Purdue. My sources out of Purdue tell me he's kind of slow, so I'm gonna continue to say that I think he's good. But they did just pick up Channing Tindall in the free agency or right after the draft, and then Spencer Anderson out of Maryland. But to go back to what I think is the best draft and the draft that deserves the most love, it's this Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to explain to everyone how the NFL draft should be viewed in mass media. Guys, we're not saying that every one of these guys is going to be an impact player. Here's how you have to look at it. If you have 8 picks, and 3 of those picks hit, and 5 of them don't hit, those 3 players outweigh those other players. So taking swings and doing all this stuff is good for your team. The Colts, yeah, Chris Ballard earned himself another year of having a job because he took the correct swings and he went at positions. But the Eagles, Howie Roseman may go down as one of the best GMs of all time just based on this draft, because I think almost every one of these players outside of Tanner McKee could play a crucial piece on this team. Moro Ojomo, steal of the draft. This man was mocked in like the 4th round in PFF, and they got him in the 7th. So I just think that there's a lot of value, and I think I already put it out on Twitter somewhere that I have an Eagles-Bengals Super Bowl already. I literally wrote that like day 2 of the draft. So, but now to unfortunately dog on some teams. Who had the worst draft? And give us your grade for the worst draft.
I'll go with the Bills. I mean, I feel like they're a team that just in general from last season to this season is looking like they might not be necessarily as good, or they'd need like a good season from Josh Allen to improve. Like I don't know if any of their offseason moves like indicate to me that they're gonna get much better. I mean, I like Dalton Kincaid, like not a bad first round pick, but other than that, like I don't know if anyone here wants to step up and like make an argument for any of their other picks, but it's not like
Osiris Torrance out of Florida is really good, but I think there's a lot of questions about if he's a like impact starter. Like they think he's going to be a 2 or 3 year development guy. Dorian Williams out of Tulane, I didn't think was a great pick. Justin Shorter is literally just going to be a practice squad player. And then the rest of these guys are probably just going to end up being practice squad players. They didn't really take anyone other than Kincaid and Torrance could be like 2 impact players.
So it's like, yeah, you trade up for Kincaid, you use extra draft capital on that, and then at least in terms of us 4, like no other picks that anyone's excited about. So yeah, I don't know.
What do you grade it as?
Maybe a C, mid.
C. All right. I'm gonna go next. to continue on to dog on teams in the NFC East. Dallas Cowboys got a D+ in my grading service. In Alex Nielsen's grading service. Terrible picks. I mean, we want to talk about horrific picks. You're sitting at round 1, pick 26. Michael Mayer still. Let me pull up the draft real quick. Draft recap. Round 1. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna name the guys that went after Mozzie Smith, and you guys can tell me if I'm crazy. After Mozzie Smith, Anton Harrison. I thought that was a terrible pick. Miles Murphy, still on the board. Ryan Brissy, still on the board. Nolan Smith, still on the board. Felix Aduke Asamoah, still on the board. Will Levis, still on the board. Michael Mayer, still on the board. And you took Mozzie Smith, a 3-technique nose tackle that provides 0 positional value in a division that just got so much harder. And then you take Luke Schoonmaker. I don't really know what to chalk up about Luke Schoonmaker. He's so injured. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he pans out. You literally don't have a starting tight end, though. You're playing what's his name from IU and Luke Schoonmaker in week 1 in the NFC East, and you're facing, I don't know, Darius Slay, Keely Ringo, ridiculous defenses, and you're going to tell me that these guys are going to block Chase Young, Nolan Smith, Hassan Reddick. Like, no, it was terrible. They took a linebacker, fantastic. William Fehoko was the only pick I actually liked from them. Solid player. They took an offensive tackle from North Carolina. Yeah, fine. I don't really care. And then they took the shortest running back in almost all of NFL draft history, and at 5'6", 179 pounds for Deuce Vaughn. I mean, it's not like you have Tony Pollard already in the building, like possibly an all-pro top 10 running back in the NFL. So the Cowboys get a D+ because they addressed no positional needs. I see the Cowboys literally having one of the worst drafts.
Well, I'm going to have to jump on the bandwagon here and say the Jets for me.
Oh, yes.
I am mad about this pick, about the Will McDonald pick. I don't know why I shouldn't be mad about it, but it is just such a bad value. Like, they could have traded back to the 2nd round and got him.
They could have traded for him in the 3rd round. I think he would have been there in the 3rd.
Yeah, he might have fallen that far. Like, they got... I like, there were so many better players. They're really taking a massive reach, way too much of a reach for pick 15. I mean, I know that Belichick screwed them on purpose. Like, that's already. Did you guys see that? Yeah.
Everyone, I knew that they were doing that the second they traded up.
Exactly. They wanted Broderick Jones, and so with the trade with the Steelers, completely screwed them. Because I think they needed an offensive lineman, a first-round offensive lineman for Aaron Rodgers, and all the best ones were taken already, and that they were probably going to take him. So they got kind of screwed. And the rest of their draft, when I just look at it, I just don't see a lot of great value in the later rounds either. Like, they addressed their offensive needs kind of with late round picks and Carter Warren and Joe Tippmann for the offensive line, but it's just kind of a really underwhelming draft. Like, I think like their only kind of value pick was Zach Kuntz in the 7th, was a little bit, but not really. Like,
I didn't even give that a value pick. I thought that was I thought he was like a high upside, like big swing kind of player. Like you were throwing a dart at the dartboard and just hoping it pans.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like what their draft was. They just had a bunch of players' names and they just threw a dart at it and see what happened. Like, it's a little bit random. I don't really get it. Like, they addressed a couple, like, I guess their major needs a little bit with a little bit of reinforcement, but still there's really going to be lacking in that. Because they didn't address it, they didn't do anything to address it. That might be their downfall. Like, this is the year that I would expect the Jets to trade up to go get one of these great offensive linemen to put in front of Aaron Rodgers. Just like if they're going all in for trading for Rodgers, why not go all in and get like a really good player at your position of need in the draft as well? I don't really get it. I don't understand. They get a D- for me.
Wow. I also grade them at a D plus. So they were on my list of bad teams. Dallas, are you gonna close it home and give me the fourth team I have written on my list? Because if you do, I'm gonna laugh.
I don't know what team is on your list. So, but for me personally, I hated what the Minnesota Vikings did in this draft.
Oh my God, you literally just did the list. You literally just did the list. It's literally the Cowboys, the Jets, the Bills, and the Vikings.
For me, Jordan Addison in the first. I mean, probably you could say it's okay. The rest of the picks, I don't see I could vouch for that much. I don't know too much about these guys, but yeah, a corner and a safety, you definitely need those guys, but I don't know how much those guys are going to impact the game. And then in round 5, you draft a quarterback you have Kirk Cousins right now. Yeah, you could say we're going to quarterback for the future. This Jaren Hall has some upside. I've read he has some upside, whatever. But right now, why are you drafting him when you need more positions if you have Kirk Cousins to compete? Right now, you want to be able to compete. So that's just a waste of a pick. And then Dwayne McBride in the 7th, running back of UAB. Don't get me wrong, I love the player. He's a solid player, but they don't need a running back right now. I just don't see how these picks are going to be impact guys, except Jordan Addison. He'll play a lot straight away, but they needed more value on defense. I would have rather them took Joey Porter in the first round, something like that. I think that would have been a better pick. They need defense. Their secondary was worse than the league last year, and I don't see how it got a lot better. So they're going to give up a lot of points again.
Hear me out. Jaren Hall throws dime. Just watch his highlight tape. He throws dime.
Jaren Hall is
I said he's got
Zach
upside.
Wilson 2.0. Jaren Hall literally Jaren Hall is where Zach Wilson should have been rated.
Yeah, the Vikings, I don't know why they didn't take cornerback first round. I really don't. I'm not the biggest fan of the Jordan Addison one. I think it would have been a better option to get like Joey Porter with that first pick and then take like Joshua Downs in the second pick if you wanted a wide receiver. I think that would have been a much more value ridden draft, and they could have easily done that. I don't know.
I'm just looking at the second round, and I can tell you players that would have benefited from getting picked, like Joey Porter, Derek Hall, Jonathan Mingo, maybe like BJ Ojolari.
Them passing up on Porter, and then the Giants got Banks literally like 3 or 4 picks behind them.
Yeah,
like those two passing
Banks
up on
was a
those two
steal.
at that stage is just no. I don't see why.
What'd you grade them, Dallas?
I'll just give it a solid D.
All right. I'm gonna throw out my honorable mention. They actually got graded high on every service, but I'm still gonna continue to hate. The Green Bay Packers. Congratulations. You have done absolutely nothing correct. You have done absolutely nothing correct. I'm just gonna go through their picks, and you guys can tell me who's a week 1 starter. Luke Van Ness, is he a week 1 starter?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Luke Musgrave, is he a week 1 starter? Well, they don't have a tight end, so yes. Jaden Reed, probably a week 1 starter because this team is terrible. Tucker Kraft, probably the week 1 defensive backup tight end. Colby Wooden, maybe. Sean Clifford in the 5th round. Sean Clifford someone ranked 500 of the best NFL draft players. And what did Sean Clifford come in at?
3rd overall.
No.
Was he
Sean
listed?
Clifford was ranked 500. And you took him at pick 149 because you really liked him. Mind you, Sean Clifford is older than Sean Clifford is older than the entirety of the NFC South or AFC South.
You mean the quarterbacks or every player?
No. Older than all the quarterbacks in the AFC South. he's almost as old as Jared Goff is. And you took him in the 5th round. And then just to chalk it up, they took a kicker. I thought they got some solid value out of Carrington Valentine out of Kentucky. But they might have just had a terrible draft, but somehow everyone gave them a B because they addressed positional needs with players who are not going to play. So, sorry. I just think that in a division that looked so wide open and you had so many picks and you skipped out on Michael Mayer, yeah, it kind of felt like, it was just kind of stupid stuff. But past that, what team do you think got better from this time last year to right now?
For me, I think I'll go with the Panthers here. We've been on the Panthers for the last few weeks. Obviously, first overall pick, Bryce Young, and then drafting Mingo in the 2nd round. I like that pick a lot. There was questions with them in the wide receiver position, and now they go out in free agency and snag Thielen. They grabbed DJ Chark in free agency. You still have Terrace Marshall there, and now you draft Mingo. So I'd say your receiver position is decent now. At the start it was Terrace Marshall and who knows who. So I think they got a lot better there. And then their defense has been good. So it all falls on Bryce Young now. Can Bryce Young lead them to the playoffs? But I think he can. So I think Carolina.
I mean, should I just say it? Should I say the Lions? They've gone from a team with kind of no expectations to, I think, the team with like the most percentage of the bets on them to win the NFC or something like that. Like basically popular pick to win the NFC. So trying to think who they've added other than this year's draft. I don't know. I mean, I was a fan of the Jahmyr Gibbs pick this year. I know most people were not, but watching him at Alabama, I had the same thought as Brad Holmes, is that this dude stands out when you watch Alabama. And then obviously like Hendon Hooker got him for good value. Like a lot of people thought he could go late first. I am a little bit concerned about the fact that he's only a couple years younger than Jared Goff. I mean, if that's the case, then
just 2. I just wanted that to be noted.
So yeah, that's a little concerning, but overall, I'm a fan of the players they've added since, and then they've been able to keep their offensive coordinator. They've got they got a lot of players returning, and yeah, I think they're rightfully the favorites for the NFC North.
I know I just dogged on their draft, but just for the Aaron Rodgers trade alone, the Jets have turned themselves from pretenders into contenders by adding a reliable QB who can just get it done. Just somebody who can I know Aaron Rodgers, he can kind of make teammates a little pissed off every now and then, but he's not Zach Wilson. That's it. He's not Zach Wilson. He's reliable. Aaron Rodgers has played injured like multiple seasons, and he's done well, as well. This Jets team immediately become contenders for the Super Bowl by adding Rodgers. They have a great defense. The defense stays the same as it did last year to be one of the best teams. They immediately got at least 4 to 5 more wins just from that trade alone, which puts them into that bracket. So that's my team.
I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just gonna read you what was said last year after their draft. The ill-fated Carson Wentz trade cost them a first-round pick, but they were able to make up for it in a somewhat solid picks on day 2. They secured an athletic left tackle and a athletic tight end. They will be good, but have the chance to be the worst team in the NFL going into next year. They were not good. But they did what was needed to be done. They tanked and got a first-round quarterback. On most draft services, they got an A+. I am hesitant to agree with many picks that the Colts made. Still hesitant to agree with some of them. I really liked Anthony Richardson. I really liked Blake Freeland. I really liked Darius Rush. I really liked Will Mallory. I really liked Jalen Jones. Some of the other picks I feel like are 50-50 if they're bust or not. For what everyone says, Josh Downs could be a generational talent. He is 5'8", and he plays in the NFL. So that is currently at the top of my concern list, that he sees a middle linebacker over the middle of the field and ends up like T.Y. Hilton. But Julius Brents, great corner, had a great 2 years of production at Kansas State. Is he a second round pick? Maybe he's the future of Indianapolis corners. I don't know. I'm just glad that Kenny Moore is not going to be our sole responsibility at corner. This team has gotten better. They're making steps in the right direction. They've found their identity. They got a lot of guys with great physical traits. So I think it's an interesting team to look at. If you told me this time last year that the Colts would have an A+ draft in the 2023 NFL draft, I think I would have laughed at you and called you stupid, and told you to wake up and get back to reality, that Chris Ballard probably would have sent us into a downward spiral by making another trade for another quarterback who's on the last 3 legs of his career, like Aaron Rodgers or someone like that. So yeah, but the Indianapolis Colts got better. I'm excited to watch Anthony Richardson play. He better start week 1. That's all I'm saying. But now on to talk about rookies and who will be impactful. Let's give our way too early offensive rookie of the year takes for next year, because why not? Technically, we have to give 2 because it's an AFC and NFC, right? Oh, no, it's just 1 rookie of the year? Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Offensive and
That's
defensive.
All right, this is easy then. Offensive rookie of the year. Who do you guys have?
Bijan. Do we need to say anything else? Is there any
No.
other takes?
Jameer
Bijan.
Gibbs.
He's not going to get enough of the share. He's one of my favorite players of the draft, but David Montgomery's in that backfield unless David Montgomery has like some kind of season-ending injury.
Here's my thing with Bijan is he's probably the favorite. I just don't want to go with him. They still have Cordero and Algier back there. And they're not just gonna give him none.
Arthur Smith.
Might move to the
Arthur
receiver.
Smith.
So
He's mouthing from the sideline. Arthur Smith. Who did Arthur Smith take a couple years ago? Oh, yeah. Derrick Henry. Who has Bijan Robinson been compared to? Derrick Henry. I'm just saying.
Who are we saying for the non-Bijan people?
I got my takes. I'm going JSN. I think he has the most production possibility. I'd love to say Quentin Johnston has a great production possibility. I just don't know where he slots in that team. If he's going to play the slot or not, if he's going to play another X or another Y or a Z. But JSN has the best opportunity. I think if you make him your second wide receiver, so your Y, and then Tyler Lockett becomes your slot player, but you can also kind of switch him up and throw him around in the slot. I think he has the highest chance to be a rookie of the year. I think he has a good quarterback, a quarterback who's clearly made steps to become good. I would like to put money on Zay Flowers, but I have no faith in Lamar Jackson sometimes. So to throw him the ball, but I'm going with I got to go with JSN.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Quentin Johnston. And the reason why I think he has the most potential to have a really high output is just because the Chargers wide receivers get injured. Like every single year consistently, they have problems with injuries. He's going to get chances to play, and he's going to get chances to be an important part of the offense. Mostly because of the injury history with their wide receiver room. Like the top wide receivers get injured, they miss games. He's going to have chances to do something. He has a great quarterback throwing him the ball. They have a great offensive scheme. The Chargers are a decent team to watch play. So and they play good football. So I think he'll have the best chance to have the highest production out of all the wide receivers. I do like the Jackson Smith and Jigba pick. I think he's close. I think it's close. It'll be close between them two, whichever one makes more production. But I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston, just getting more opportunities.
Alrighty, on to the defensive rookie of the year. This is always an absolute crapshoot, I will be honest.
I can kind of go with the guy that, I didn't know exactly who to pick, but I'll go with the guy that I just was impressed with watching college football. I'll go with Deonte Banks. Although it could be probably any of the secondary guys in the first round this year. I like Deonte Banks when I watched him last year, so I'll go with him.
I'm going to go with the sleeper here. I'm going to go with a big sleeper. I'm going to go with Myles Murphy for the Bengals. I love the Bengals pick. I can't believe they got Myles Murphy. They had one of the worst defensive lines in the league when it came to sacks. They could not get to the quarterback. He's going to start immediately. And I could see him having a really, really good season, just being a dominant player off that defensive end for the Bengals, who, lost a couple of key pieces on defense. They're going to need to get after it. They're going to need to get after the quarterback. They lost their safeties. I think they want to start diving the quarterback more, making them have less time in the pocket because they know they're going to be a little weak in the back. So I think they're going to kind of change their scheme potentially and trying to get to the quarterback more and trying to do more creative things on that defensive line. And I think Myles Murphy is one of the perfect picks to help them do that. So he could get a lot of production this year.
I like it.
I went
What?
Tyree Wilson. Yeah, you're lining up opposite of Max Crosby and you're playing in the AFC West. You play the Broncos twice a season. So that's a 5-sack game possibility in every game. Russell Wilson's also a terrible quarterback. I just like him. I think he's athletic. I think he's interesting. I think that the Raiders are going to be bad enough that he's going to get a lot of playing time. He is the succession plan for Chandler Jones. But give me my long shot here and give me Jack Campbell getting absolutely nasty as a 4-3 linebacker. Aiden Hutchinson had a fantastic first year. This man he's gonna get after it. I'm going 5 forced fumbles, maybe 2 picks. But I think he's gonna get a lot of tackles. He's gonna get in there. He's gonna get gritty. And I think that at the end of the day, all the people are gonna say that, at pick 18, he was probably a steal for where he was in a draft of no linebackers.
My pick's gonna stay in the same division. I just want everybody that's gonna crap on the Packers. Luke Van Ness.
Oh God,
That's gonna be my pick. Everybody's saying it's a bad pick, man. It's not that bad a pick. He's gonna have a good year. Now, maybe not win it, but he's gonna finish at least top 3. So, but he's my sleeper. I'm gonna go with him to win it.
at this point, should we just pick Will McDonald and just say all the sleepers in the first round are going to have better seasons?
We have been going with a lot of sleepers.
But I just thought we get those takes out there. This is a conversation that I've been hearing on a lot of social media platforms. Next year, with the possibility of the fateful trade that the Houston Texans put in order, the Houston Texans and the Arizona Cardinals currently have the worst odds on all betting services to have the least amount of wins. With that, next year's draft is a quarterback-loaded draft with everybody comparing Caleb Williams to being better than every single quarterback in the entirety of this draft. Is Kyler's fate sealed in Arizona? Is there any hope for this man that he will get to be a starter next year in Arizona, or is the writing on the wall?
It's a tough one. to me, it's not sealed yet, just because of the cap, and his money. But I don't think it's sealed yet, for sure.
Just wanted to be noted that larger dead hits have been taken to get rid of somebody. Matthew Stafford, Carson Wentz. There's been a lot of big dead hits. So
Those guys are not Kyler Murray.
I mean, I'm saying no chance his fate is sealed in Arizona. First of all, we're already assuming that those two picks are going to turn into number 1 and number 2. Let's say they're number 3 and number 5. In that case, it's like, well, we've got no shot at Caleb Williams anyway. And coupled with the fact, which I think this is an even bigger factor, yeah, Kyler Murray's about to make $52 million in 2024. And that's the first year of his extension. And so I just don't see a way that the Cardinals don't stick with him. Also, the fact that the Cardinals might not be terrible this year. I mean, they've got Kyler Murray, they've got DeAndre Hopkins still. And I think a lot of the reason for their struggles last year was that Kyler Murray was hurt throughout the season and DeAndre Hopkins didn't play for 6 games, half the season.
give me one second.
Kyler probably won't start the year though. This is probably why though. I could see this is why most people think they're going to be 1 and 2, just because they think the Cardinals are going to be so bad because Kyler's not going to play for the first however so long because of the ACL. But once again, we don't really know that until we get closer to the season. So
Currently, the lines set by Vegas have them at under 5.5 games at a negative 150. The closest team is the Los Angeles Rams at under 7.5 wins. No one else is even in that echelon. The Buccaneers are at under 6.5 wins. So maybe they're an interesting target, but I think every division is almost close enough to say that it could be any team. Houston's the only other team that's tied with them at under 5.5 wins as well. The Colts are at under 6.5. I mean, I feel like if you're sitting in the Arizona front office, why are you not looking at Kyler Murray and saying, you can sit for 12 weeks, my friend. You can get all the healthiest you want to be. We do not care because they have a chance to get a generational talent. I think Kyler Murray's fate is sealed. I think that his biggest supporter, the guy who's been in his corner the whole time, is officially out of the building. Cliff Kingsbury is gone. The guy who drafted you is gone. Steve Keim has been sitting on the hot seat for 2 years now.
Did he get
I think
fired?
it's time.
I might have made that mistake last week. He might have got fired.
Steve Keim?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, he
Oh.
stepped away. They got this
Oh.
new guy, Monty Yosin. I don't know. I remember last week I said Steve Keim, but yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, Monty. So now technically the GM that has drafted you is officially out of the building. And this GM is holding to coveted 2 picks. And one of those picks is Caleb Williams, a considered all-generational quarterback. They're going to find a way to get rid of him. Somebody is going to be so desperate and is going to be outside of that top 5 echelon of picks where they can't go get Drake May. And they're gonna call up and they're gonna say, what do you want for Kyler? We're selling the house here. We want, the Los Angeles Rams call them up. We got no quarterback. Stetson Bennett hasn't panned out yet. Matthew Stafford it absolutely has no shoulder. We might have to get a shoulder transplant for him. What do you want for Kyler? Like we're willing to take on all his money. We'll make the trade. Let's get this thing done.
I want it on the record. I love the Rams quarterback room. Second of all, that's a lot of Kyler Murray jerseys to be sitting around in the team store after this year if they get rid of him.
Crazier things have happened. Remember when Baker Mayfield, considerably penciled in as a starter in the Cleveland Browns, was let go?
This is big.
I'm just
I
saying,
think it's a bigger difference than that.
Injuries play a factor, and I think Kyler has had that same kind of the career path, the trajectory, where it's like really good, injured. And I think they may look at him and say, we got a chance here. we're holding a royal flush, and if we don't put this down on the table.
Quick question. If Kyler's not on the Cardinals at the beginning of the 2024 season, what team is he on?
I'm going to list you 4 teams right now. I got a couple. The New England Patriots. The Green Bay Packers. The Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Washington Commanders. And the Los Angeles Rams.
Interdivision. That'd be crazy.
Also, I wouldn't throw the Las Vegas Raiders out of that conversation either.
I wouldn't throw the
They're-
Titans out.
I don't know. Titans have kind of sat on their hands a little bit. So
You want to know my take for that?
what?
FaZe Kyler. He's going full time to FaZe if Cardinals cut him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that it's not looking too good. I think he's getting to this point where if the pendulum swings too far and Caleb Williams is there by week 13 in their mock draft, they just look at it and say, "We're done for the season, gentlemen. Pack it up, go home. Kyler Murray, go play the new Call of Duty game. We'll be calling you in a couple weeks with your new suitor." But Adam, sorry, I went on my Kyler Murray rant. Give me what you got here. Is it over for Kyler Murray or is it not?
So I've looked at it, and I've looked at what the dead cap would be. So the only situation, if they do get that number 1 pick, which I think the number 1 pick is the only pick that you'll get Caleb Williams for, and they would have to make sure they had that, because I don't think any team is going to trade down if they can pick Caleb Williams and then need a quarterback. So unless there's a non-quarterback needy team that gets the number 1, they're not going to get it. The only way, if they had a chance to draft Caleb Williams, I think that's the only way they would do it. If they did that, they would have to be on the team together. Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams would have to be on the team together. There would be no other way to change it, because in 2024, Kyler Murray's dead cap, if they cut him, is $81 million.
That's my point. They're going to trade him. That's the only way you get him out of the building.
No one is going to want him. After he comes back from his ACL, that's a big injury, especially for a player who needs to run and scramble in the pocket. That is a huge injury. I don't think people realize that. He's not just a stand-up pocket QB. He would not be able to do that. He makes time for his receivers. He scrambles in the pocket. He runs a little bit. He's a threat. You don't really know what he's going to do, and that's what makes him effective in the league. That injury could really, really hinder his ability to do that. It might be a mind game. He might not want to injure it again. There's a lot of things that could happen, and he cannot be a pocket passer. He has to be running around. He has to be creating time in the pocket for himself, finding open space to hit passing lanes. And I don't think he's going to do that with the Cardinals, especially because he's not going to come in at the start of the season because he's going to be injured. I don't think he's going to start the season for the first handful of games. And then he's going to come in on a team that's, low on confidence. They're not going to be very good. Their defense is going to be bad. All their defense players want to leave. I think there's going to be a couple of trades. Budda Baker still wants to go. It's probably their best defensive player. And, they got an offensive lineman with their draft pick. So their defense isn't going to probably have a stud on defense from this year either. They cannot get rid of him in 2024. That's the biggest issue.
Currently, in a PFF mock draft, the number 13 Las Vegas Raiders are picking Michael Penix Jr.
Problem with that?
if I give you the option of Michael Penix Jr. or Kyler Murray, who are you taking?
Michael
81
Penix Jr. is a
million
lot
is the
cheaper.
key number to that. That's it. It literally doesn't. Of course, they'd pick Kyler Murray, but do they want the 81 million to go with them in the cap?
That's
The answer
just
would
going to
probably
be
be no.
They're
So
going
they'd
to
rather have Michael
to keep them.
Penix.
I think the issue is they're going to have to keep Kyler there because if Kyler requests a trade, nobody's taking him. Nobody's going to trade anything for him. He is on way too much money, and if he doesn't have a good end of season when he comes back, if he doesn't come back rolling, like the only way they get anything for him is if he comes back from his injury and he starts playing well. If he starts playing well, then you probably can trade him for like a little bit. You won't get much value, but you'll get a couple picks. I think somebody will take the shot. If he does not, you won't find a trade suitor, and you will have to keep a rookie quarterback that you're going to start over him. And that is going to be a nasty situation. Like things are going to get ugly if that happens, because like he still has cap hits after that season too as well.
You can
that are
defer
pretty
his
decent.
money to bonuses. Like you could just defer it all to bonuses.
But would Kyler Murray want to help out the Cardinals organization if they replaced him when he was still there? Would he really feel like,
he's
really
getting a
want to make it
paycheck? I don't
easy.
think he gives two craps of what he's doing. If he's getting $81 million, I'll sit there and say, I'll go play Call of Duty for the rest of the season. If you guys need me, just call me. Just call me up, man. I got the games. I'm gonna go hang out with FaZe Clan guys. Get in on that Ponzi scheme that got going on over there. We're gonna have a good time.
If he does something like that, there is absolutely no way he's playing football again. If he acts like that, and if he acts like that, no team's gonna take him anymore. He'll take the money and he'll quit.
Make that bread and leave, my friend. All right,
retire at that point. So no.
Sorry, I had to get it. I heard everyone that I heard talk about it said that they have a chance to trade Kyler Murray. I think there are suitors, people. There are suitors, but that you just got to get it for the right price.
Same suitors turned down the Lamar trade.
Well, you don't have to give Kyler Murray a contract. You just got to eat the contract. All right, but let's just quickly go through these. Which AFC or NFC division officially becomes the gauntlet of all divisions to play? You have 6 games a season that you now have to play against all these teams, and you're currently peeing your pants when looking at your schedule for this year.
I think in the same way that we were all excited, it may have been this group of 4 where we're all excited about the AFC West before last season. I think this year for me that division is the AFC East. Like other than New England, like I don't love New England's roster this year, but they have Belichick, so they'll prove me wrong. They'll get to 500.
They'll get 7
somehow.
wins, easy money.
Yeah, they're gonna somehow get to that many wins. But other than that, like there's a lot of reasons to be excited about the Bills and the Jets, and I like the Dolphins a lot just because I like their coaching staff.
I'm going AFC North / NFC East. Good luck playing the Philadelphia Eagles. To anybody who wants to play the Philadelphia Eagles this year, rest in peace. We will remember you the way you were before the Philadelphia Eagles got the entirety of the Georgia national championship team. Also the AFC North, I think there's 3 competitive teams, just like how we said it was with the AFC East. But the Browns could be interesting if Deshaun Watson makes the jump between last year and this year. Be a little interesting. But Dallas and Adam, who you guys got? If I hear an AFC South take, I'm officially canceling the show.
No, you won't get that from me. Trust me on that. I'm going to go for 2 AFC divisions. I'm going to go for AFC East and AFC North. I think both of those are going, especially the AFC North, are going to be dog fights. These teams are. The thing with the AFC North, the Bengals are going to be good. The Ravens just got Lamar Jackson back. And, he's happy, he's getting paid, and they can turn things around and they can have a great season. The Steelers had a good draft. The Steelers are always going to be contending under Mike Tomlin. They always have a winning record. They're going to be good. And you have no idea what the Browns are. They're like the wild card. You have no idea what the Browns are. Is Deshaun Watson still good? I don't know. Can they put something together? Is their defense great? It's like there's a lot of questions around them. We have no idea how they're going to be. And the AFC East, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. Poor Patriots seeing this. I mean, the Patriots have a great defense, so maybe they might be able to hold on and finish not with a really, really bad record. But
Mac Jones rookie year type of vibes. Mac Jones is going to be on a burner this year. Mac Jones is going to be on a burner. I'm calling it.
But like the Dolphins have an crazy offense. One of my favorite offenses to watch in the league. The Jets are with what they've made on offense are now a full rounded team. Great, should be great on both sides of the ball. And the Bills obviously are going to be good on both sides of the ball as well. Like it's going to be defense, offense, a battle. All these games are going to be battles. I actually don't see any blowouts between. I would be surprised if there was a blowout between whenever these division teams are playing each other. Like it's going to be close games. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun to watch both of those divisions.
Mine are the exact same as Adam. I mean, those two divisions are going to be so. I watch the AFC North every year, and it's dogfight every year. It doesn't matter what the teams are. Same we said for the East. I mean, that we think the Patriots are going to be bad, but those 6 games that they play against the other teams, they're going to be dogfights. They're going to be close every time. And as for Cleveland's sakes, I think Deshaun Watson will be better. He's coming off of 2 years of not playing football, and he just gets thrown into an NFL game for the last 5-6 weeks. Yeah, you're going to be rusty. You're going to throw a few picks. It's going to be tough, but now he's going to have a full offseason under his belt. They got weapons in Cleveland. The offense should be fine. They still have Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league. So both of these divisions are going to be so tough.
I agree. I just thought it was interesting post-draft what everyone was feeling. And then I wanted to get some takes out here, some future NFL takes. I'm going with the Colts winning 8.5+ games. Give me 9 Colts wins on the year. Don't know where I'm feeling that from. And I'm going Eagles, Seahawks. It's the battle of the birds in the NFC Championship. But I know which bird will make it to the if either of them make it to the championship, I'd be happy. But give me your guys' takes here.
I'm going to do a parlay.
All right.
I'm going to do a parlay for the division winners in the AFC and the NFC. Just real quick. No explanation. Just going to do it. AFC East, Bills. AFC North, Ravens. AFC South, Jags. AFC West, Chiefs. And then I'm going to go Eagles, Lions, Panthers, and 49ers.
All right. You were almost on the same predictions I had last week, but I did have the Seahawks over the 49ers. No Brock Purdy for the first however long, and Sam Darnold possibly playing, or Trey Lance kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. But
well, I'll give my first one will be just this. These are my top 4 teams in the NFC. I got the 49ers, I got the Lions, I got the Eagles, and I got the Seahawks. Those are my 4 top teams in the NFC. Maybe not necessarily a hot take, but that's just one of my takes. And then this one's more of a hot take, but if we see Stetson Bennett in game action, he's going to be good.
Stetson equals Brock Purdy.
No. Change it from Brock Purdy to GOAT.
What was your last pick for the top 4 NFC teams? You had 49ers, Eagles. Oh, Lions. I should have known that. All right. I once again have put All right, Dallas, what you got here? What you feeling?
So two takes. First take for the future, give me back the Bengals back to the Super Bowl. I have to get that take in there. The last 2 years have been a ride to say the least. Let's see if they can keep it going. Second take, man. Oh gosh, I don't even know. Give me Panthers to win a playoff game.
God, that. If you would have told me a year ago that someone was gonna say that the Panthers are gonna win a playoff game, that might have been the craziest take. But those are some good takes. Glad we got to talk about the NFL. But back to a format that I thought was pretty fun last week. It's NBA playoff hashtag format. We're gonna talk about. Let's start in the West. We started in the East last week. We got the Nuggets playing the Suns right now. The Nuggets are cooking the Suns. They're up 2-0 right now in the series. What's the hashtag right now for this this matchup?
Hashtag sweep.
I'm going hashtag why'd you trade for KD?
Everyone knows why you trade for KD.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. This is a tough one. Just to throw a little controversy, I'm gonna go hashtag should have been MVP.
Oh,
Ooh. All right. Hashtag finals bound.
hashtag Michael. I'm giving my second one. Hashtag Michael Porter Jr. Masterclass. Has anyone else seen those videos on TikTok where it's like Michael Porter Jr. had a masterclass today of 20 points, 1 assist, and 10 rebounds. Like his best game, he never passes the ball. It's the funniest thing. I have a friend that's a Nuggets warrior, and he always sends me after he has one of those games where he just does not pass the ball. It's like Michael Porter Jr. masterclass. It's so funny. Warriors, Lakers. I'm gonna take the easy road out. Battle of the Goats. Actually, no. I'm gonna go Throwback Thursday.
For me, this is an easy hashtag. Hashtag it's up to AD.
Sorry, I was just watching a Michael Porter Jr. for president TikTok. I'm gonna go hashtag 7-game series.
Adam.
I'm gonna go hashtag how do the Lakers keep winning games? Because I have watched a lot of their playoff games and they suck.
AD. Literally. Look
Dude,
at it.
Jared Vanderbilt. Okay, I have to come on here. Jared Vanderbilt deserves his flowers. My guy is out here like that is that like clip of J.R. Smith talking about Matthew Dellavedova, but let's talk about Jared Vanderbilt playing high pressure on Steph Curry. Him and Austin Reeves playing on Clay, like it's ridiculous. I was watching JJ Redick break it down and how impossible it is to do it, and like how they're high blocking and they're like shutting the lane. They're just opening the lane up, but just not letting him shoot threes. It's kind of ridiculous, but Clay went off last night. So, but let's go back to the East. 76ers versus Celtics.
Hashtag Sixers.
I think you had that last week. Dallas?
Trying to think of a good one here. This is tough.
Hashtag don't let Marcus Smart shoot anymore.
Hashtag let him shoot. My God, he was amazing in game 2.
That was like a defensive, like that was a defensive comp from the 76ers.
Hashtag let JB shoot more.
The Sixers are they the only team with 2 MVPs in the NBA? I think they are.
What?
I think so.
Hashtag strip club Harden is back.
Unless you count Michael Porter Jr. as a TikTok MVP.
Okay.
Our NBA postseason awards will just be Michael Porter Jr., the Michael Porter Jr. award, and Michael Porter Jr. wins the Michael Porter Jr. award.
You got the MVP and the MPJ.
MVP, MPJ.
All right. I got one here. Hashtag battle of underachievers.
Wow. Adam's just taking shots below the belt right now. Just all right. Heat versus Knicks. What's the hashtag for this?
Hashtag Jimmy G buckets.
Hashtag Julius Randle is the reason the Knicks win.
For me, it's hashtag Josh Hart.
Dude, Josh Hart. Yeah, that is.
1 assist away from a triple-double in game 2.
Anyone gonna say
anyone gonna
say hashtag ankle injuries?
That's also a hashtag Josh Hart moment.
This is a hard one for me to try and figure something out.
Hashtag are you not impressed?
You know what? Hashtag one-man teams.
All right. Just thought we should go over the playoffs a little bit, but I was listening to my Lord and Savior of basketball media, the guy that's actually brought me back into basketball media, Mr. JJ Redick, because he's the only rational one sometimes about some things. But they were having this conversation yesterday, and I edited it a little bit. Technically their conversation was, is Steph on Mount Rushmore? But I kind of felt that it was a little early to say is he on Mount Rushmore, but we can talk about it. But what is Steph's rank in the all-time point guard position conversation?
Are you asking if he's on Mount Rushmore of point guards?
Yeah, basically.
I thought you were going to ask if he was on Mount Rushmore of players.
They were talking about, is he on Mount Rushmore, like the overall Mount Rushmore? But I wanted to do the point guard conversation.
He might be number 1. I saw in our someone I went to high school with put a tweet out where he said Steph may be the best player to ever play the point guard position. Magic Johnson might be the best to ever play the point guard position, if that makes any sense.
I get it.
I don't hate that take.
I'm going to 1. He is very close to my Mount Rushmore, though, I will say. Like and this is prefaced with what they said. I think number 1 at the holy pinnacle is Jordan. What that man did is just ridiculous. Number 2 has to be Kareem, great player. Number 3 is LeBron. And then number 4 could be a debate. I could debate a lot of people to get into 4. But I think Curry's close. I saw a stat that Curry has had almost as many 30-point games after the age of 35 as Michael Jordan.
Where does Karl Malone rank for you all time?
Top 20.
And then So then being number one in scoring used to be puts Kareem number two.
I don't know. I just think what Kareem did was pretty impressive. I'm just like, and it's not even like just the NBA Mount Rushmore. It's like my basketball Mount Rushmore because that man was a demon in college. Like when I mean he was a demon in college. 3 national championships is just ridiculous. And I think he holds the record right now of most finals wins he has the highest ratio of most finals wins to most finals MVPs or just the MVP in general. So I feel like that's pretty easy. Dallas, you're our true basketball knower on the pod. What you got here?
I still have Magic Johnson as the greatest point guard ever.
So Curry is 2?
Yeah, you could say he's 2. It's tough. Him and what Oscar Robertson did when he played, averaging a triple-double. Obviously, you can put all that. Oscar 13th in scoring, 7th in all-time assists. And Curry is 56 and 6 and 47th in scoring. Obviously, still a long way to go for Curry. Who knows how long he's going to play. But Curry has more titles and everything if you value that. So for me, Big O and Curry are really close at 2. You can interchange them however you want. But Magic Johnson, 5 NBA titles, 3 Finals MVPs, 3 MVPs, 9 first-team selections, and 12-time All-Star. Yeah, he's above Steph Curry still. It's a talk if Steph Curry wins another Finals and it gets another Finals MVP, because that'll put Curry at 5 NBA titles with Magic, 1 less Finals MVP. And Curry is only a 4-time first-team selection to Magic's 12.
But I think the thing about Curry is the way he's transcended the game of basketball since we've seen him make his debut onto the scene. Like Steph Curry has officially like set a whole new mold for NBA point guards from now until however long.
It's way more than that. I mean, you could say other than MJ, he's the player that's changed the game of basketball the most in like the history of the game. So I don't know.
I feel like
you can argue he's definitely changed the game the most, and you can also argue he's hurt the game the most. High school basketball is so bad. Middle school basketball is so bad because these kids are trying to be like Stephen Curry, and they are not Stephen Curry.
I actually like the Heat Knicks series because it's like old school basketball.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, he has changed it. Is it for the better or for the worse? I'd argue
you could say the same thing about Jordan, though. Like Jordan, you could say the same thing about that.
You don't get Nikola Jokic, you don't get Luka Doncic without Michael Jordan.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, everyone could say he ruined basketball because he was the first one to build super teams and to be basically a GM for his team. I mean,
hot take.
Adam, what you got here for Curry? And where's Curry on your list?
Man, this is a tough one. Like Magic was just such a good transcendent player, a player when he came in that nobody has ever seen before. Like there's absolutely nothing that could stop Magic. But Steph Curry does the same type of stuff, but in a different way. He's just as impressive, but in a completely different way than Magic was. Like I saw the game last night. Steph Curry steps back way behind the 3-point line with 2 guys closing in on him as he's falling down, and he drains a 3 from 35 feet out, with 2 guys draped all over him. And I'm like, is there anybody else that can just do this like this consistently for this long? Like he's a 4-time NBA champion, 2 MVPs, 9 All-Star games, 8-time all NBA selection, just so many awards, like 7-time 3-point field goals leader. Like this guy is just Magic was a great all-around player who could do everything for you, and he could do everything at an elite level. But Steph Curry, he can do a handful of things at an elite level, but the thing that he does, he is the best, without a doubt, the best 3-point shooter ever. And I don't think anyone will ever get close to how great Steph Curry is as a 3-point shooter. No one will ever be that good at shooting, like ever. And he has changed the game. He's won a lot of things. His career is not even close to done yet. We still have years and years of Steph Curry. He could make those awards and honors. He could double his first team selections, or like make his all NBA selections 13 or 14 by the time his career is done. Like he could become, like right now, I think he's made nine All-Star games. He's probably going to make 15 or 16. Like by the time his career is done. And I don't think he's done winning titles. I don't think he's done winning titles either. He could win another 1 or 2. And if he wins 2 more and gets to 6 titles for the rest of his career, I mean, I think it's really close. Magic has a little bit more accolades than Steph Curry, but I would like to revisit the conversation when Steph Curry retires so we can really make sure, like, did the accolades line up between him and Magic, between who's 1 and 2? But right now, I'm going to give it to Magic because he has a little bit more in the accolades category. But it's going to turn, I believe, is in like 3 or 4 years, is going to turn into Steph Curry, and Steph Curry is going to take that over.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting conversation. There was a little bit of talks. I mean, I guess while we're here, let's talk about Mount Rushmore of basketball. I mean, we all love to talk about it. So they were talking about it. They said the top 3 in their Mount Rushmore all solidified. They all agreed that it was Jordan, and it's not in any order. It's Jordan, Kareem, and LeBron. And then the 4th position is still kind of open for debate, I feel like. Like there's like 12 guys you could debate for that position. I mean, is that how you guys see it? Or do you think there is a 4 right now, and at some point that number 4 will be replaced by somebody? Is it Magic? Is it Oscar Robertson? Is it, I mean, name the list and we can go on and on and on.
If your top 3 isn't MJ, Kobe, and LeBron, you're wrong.
And Kobe over Kareem? I'm just saying. I'm genuinely just saying. I feel like are we favoring the guards and the more flashy players, like the guards and the small forwards?
You mean skill?
Skilled players over like a dude who got it done with maybe a little less skill, but like transcended the game for big men. I mean,
Kareem might have been more dominant, but best basketball players of all time, MJ, Kobe, and LeBron. Any order, whatever order you want to say. Those are the top 3.
So who would you give to 4 right now then?
A lot of people.
I think
Kareem. I mean,
Kareem.
you could say Kareem, you could say Shaq. I mean, it depends on what your criteria is. Like, I think Shaq was more dominant than Kareem, but
I do think I agree with
maybe. I don't know.
I agree with Shaq because I think Shaq genuinely made every defense change how they played in the 90s.
Yeah, he's another guy that changed the game. Like, he literally had rules put in place in the NBA because of like how he changed the game. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear everyone else's take.
No, I don't even have a take. It just, literally depends on criteria. That's the bad thing about this basketball argument. Best players of all time, because it literally depends on criteria, and that's why I don't like to rank these guys. I don't. I mean, you could say best players, you could say best skill, you could most criteria people have is championships won. If it's championships won, Bill Russell's freaking number 1. He is. I mean, come on, like he is. If it's championships won, so there's too many variables, too many different positions and things like that to have a top 4, and everybody's just going to value it differently. So I don't. Everybody asks, if they ask me my top 4, I say I don't know, and it doesn't really matter because they're going to disagree with me in any way.
Based.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, well, Yeah, everybody has their own opinion and criteria. Exactly. So like, but if anybody asks me the question, I'll give you mine. I'll give you my own opinion because, like, if somebody asks for my opinion on it, I do have one. Like, I'm not just gonna go and like blurt it out all the time, but I have one. Mine personally would be LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, and Bird.
Ooh,
would be
I like
my-
Larry. That is a
That would be my Mount Rushmore. I really wanted to add Larry Bird in there. It's one of my favorite players of all
Tim
time. So
Legler went on a tangent about that. He thought Larry Bird was like a top 10 NBA player of all time. And I kind of agreed.
yeah, I mean, like,
Has
yeah,
to be
people are
locked, yeah.
gonna disagree. Just like Dallas said, people are gonna disagree with mine, but that's okay. Like everybody
Yeah.
has their own. Everybody has their own Rushmore. It just matters to what you think was great. Players that you liked watching. Like some people could have. Hey, I don't even know what like a 10-year-old would have. Like, would he have Kevin
Like-
Durant, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Steph
James
Curry,
Harden. Like
James Harden,
James
and Devin Booker or something on that round Mount Rushmore? It's there
Devin
for
Booker
everybody.
is the Riz God, so he must be on the Mount Rushmore.
Michael Porter Jr.
That's like a 20-year-old's taste in basketball. It's like Michael Porter Jr. You like the reliability. Like Nikola Jokic, like these kids are gonna in like
Mac
10 years.
McClung's up there.
What'd you say?
Mac McClung's up there.
Yeah. Mason Plumlee's in the conversation. No. But I just thought it was interesting. I don't think we've ever had a deep dive into the topic. I just thought it's always fun to talk about. Something people always like to debate. Oh, Kai came in and said Braun is number one. Easy. Okay. Ex-show host hopping in to see a little episode. We got to get Kai back on this summer. It's happening. We need to have him in. My favorite segment is there's a segment somewhere where it's Chase and Kai debating if Bob Cousy was an actual person, and it is the funniest 2 minutes of conversation ever. Like Chase does not believe Bob Cousy is real, and Kai is they're looking up the highlights, and it's so funny. It is a faraway episode somewhere. But also I just wanted to give some love to baseball because it's been great this year. Who is the best team in baseball as of today? Can I give the obvious answer first?
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rays are 26-6 right now, but this isn't even the most astounding part. The Tampa Bay Rays have hit 64 home runs in 32 games. That's 2 home runs per game. They have a run differential, though, of 114 runs. They have scored 210 runs and only given up 96 runs. 96 runs is literally considered, it's at least 20 to 30 below what everyone else is giving up right now. So it is ridiculous. The Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know where this Tampa Bay Rays team has been. I hope they don't really cool off because mid-season you'll see teams cool off. But also the Texas Rangers are playing phenomenal right now in the West. In the AL West, they're 18-12. They have a 69 run differential. They've been really good. They built a good roster. They paid a lot of money. So I just think, give them a little bit of love. But who do you guys have?
I'm gonna take my team. I'm gonna take the Orioles. Yeah, I'm not a big baseball guy, but the only baseball team I've ever seen in stadium was the Orioles. So I just I keep up with them a little bit. I don't really watch the games that much, but they're doing really, really well. I'm happy for them. I hope it keeps going. So,
and the Yankees are in the mud right now, so let's continue that. Yankees are bottom of the division, which is just beautiful. Love seeing that.
For me, you got to go the Orioles are a good pick. I really love the Orioles. Kyle Gibson, 4 wins. By the way, just had to throw that out there. 4 wins on the year. But the Atlanta Braves are a very good team. You probably say right now the MVP front runner in the NL is Ronald Acuna Jr. The dude is batting .355. He's been absolutely phenomenal. And you can argue the guys like Matt Olson and Austin Riley are having down years at .244 and .248 respectively. And once they turn it on, this team is going to be unstoppable hitting if Ronald Acuna keeps this up. Ozzy Albies is actually tied in the home run lead for the team, which you wouldn't think. He's having a nice little power year. He's batting 288 as well. The hitting on this team is really good, and the pitching has been solid. Spencer Strider has been unbelievable to start the year. The ERA is, as a team, is 3.51, which is pretty solid as a team. So the Atlanta Braves are a very good team. You can see them in the World Series again, potentially at the end of the year.
My pick, I know they're not the best team in baseball, but I'm speaking it into existence. The team that I arbitrarily picked at the beginning of the year to be good, and their World Series odds have gotten over 2 times better since the beginning of the year, the Milwaukee Brewers. I know like one guy on their team. I haven't watched them play all year, but they're my best team in baseball because I'm speaking it into existence.
Like to see it. Just thought we should talk about baseball. I know we skip on it sometimes. Also, just wanted to throw this out there. What NFL team deserves more love in 2023? What team should we give our sympathy cards and our empathy cards to for next year? What team should we all love just from the way they do things?
To me, this is an obvious one. The 49ers. 49ers deserve much more love than they're getting. I feel like everyone's just kind of written them off, kind of just because, they're not going to have Brock Purdy to start the season. But I would like to say, because they're probably going to start Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold might actually be good enough for them to still win some games. I mean, they might not be able to throw down the field, but I saw Sam Darnold win a game with the Panthers by having one of the worst single game performances in NFL history and winning a game. I think he had a QBR of 2, and they won a game. Like, if he does any better than that on the 49ers with an elite defense, you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Deebo Samuel, who are 2 of the most explosive players. You can give them to the backfield and they can make something happen. And you only need Sam Darnold in there for a couple of games, like just a handful of games before you get Brock Purdy back. I think they're still going to be elite. They're still going to be one of the best teams in the league. And I don't know why people just kind of act like they're not existing right now. It's just weird to me.
Steve Wilkes effect. Guess where Steve Wilkes went? San Francisco. I'll sign on with Adam here. I'm taking the 49ers. They, in my opinion, maybe not the regular season, they should be the favorite to win the NFC.
I'm sticking in that division. I'm going Seattle. I just love Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's the man. I just love that. I just love that, what they've done. I mean, you want to talk about a team that was possibly at the point last year considered to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. You just lost your franchise quarterback. Everything looked like it was not going to go your way. And you were a really good team, and you hit on a lot of players, and you've homegrown a lot of your talent. You've taken that Eagles method of homegrowing a lot of your talent, but also bringing in good players to be a part and to contribute to this team. And I just really like how they do things. If you've never heard Pete Carroll speak, Pete Carroll's a great guy. The fact that they were taking selfies with every quarterback was my favorite. Those were some of my favorite when those would come out on Twitter. Pete Carroll, like, thumbs up and his Nike Monarchs on. He's just a funny guy.
For me, I have the Miami Dolphins here as a team that deserves more love. I think a lot of people are talking about the Jets and the Bills as favorites in the AFC East. Well, the Miami Dolphins have a lot to say about that. When Tua is healthy, when he was healthy last year, they were unbelievable. They didn't get worse in the offseason. I hope Tua can stay healthy and play and be very good for him. So Miami Dolphins here for me. I think they can surprise a lot of people and even win that division.
I agree. Dallas, I do need you to prove something for me real quick. What happened with this tennis tournament last week?
My hot takes did not go so well. Literally the night of the show last week, Felix Auger-Aliassime lost. So literally within hours of my hot take got busted. Jessica
Wow, that's-
Pegula did go to the quarterfinals in the top 8, but she did lose as well. So both of my picks did lose. Tough, but that's
Well,
tennis.
unfortunately for Adam, the Jets taking Will Levis did not happen. I would have liked to see that. So Dallas has missed. Rishi unfortunately missed on Boston. Boston killed you, my friend. You were pretty close with some other picks though. I had my winners, and then I did have Will Levis going to the Rams or the Patriots. I should have just taken the layup and taken the Titans, but it's fine. I'm just sitting at a cool 35-25. I got a chance to come back here. I got to get some work in, but I'm gonna get back. But what do you guys have for this week?
What I just want, hopefully nobody has a hot take that's like mine. So I'd like to go last, but
I'm currently, give me a minute. I'm cooking over here. I'm once again going back to golf for the 50th time because I've just. All right, I have my 3 guys. This week is the Wells Fargo. It is not a massive event. A lot of guys are coming off of their 3-week stretch where they've played a bunch of tournaments. But there's a couple guys I like right now going into Friday. Good old Adam Scott, the Aussie 33-year-old, sitting at a really nice score right now going into today. But there's also some guys that are sitting around on the board that have some chance to move. Ricky Fowler sitting at 3 under right now. I like his odds, but then I'm also gonna stick with the rookie, one of my favorite players from the Netflix documentary that they did, Sahith Theegala. We're gonna put some love on Sahith's name. He's high up there, and then I got to throw one more because I've been going 3 wide, but I think I need to go 4. Who else do I like? I don't know. Let's go Sung J M. He's been playing pretty good, so I'll go Sung J M. Hopefully one of those guys wins. That'd be really good. I could use a golf hot take hitting. But what do you guys got?
I have 2. So I'm going to start with basketball. I think the Miami Heat win both of their home games and go up 3-1 in the series. And then I'm going to go into the Premier League here. And I'm going to say Man City and Leeds draw, and Arsenal beat Newcastle to bring the title race back in and make the title race a lot closer.
I'm so tired of watching this title race because I feel terrible for Arsenal fans every week.
I'm a Man City fan, so I don't feel that terrible for them, but I do feel
I was rooting for Arsenal at the beginning, and now it's just slowly falling off. But Rishi, Dallas, what do you got? I think Dallas is going to close us out. So
as long as Rishi doesn't take it.
No, I doubt I'll take yours. I've got some random ones this week. I'm gonna go back to the hockey well. I don't know if I doubt these series will all be done by next week, but I wanted to go back to it. Parlay all 4 winners to go to the conference finals. Florida, they're already up 2-0 against Maple Leafs. Pretty shocking, but they've been on fire. I'm gonna go with the Devils. They're down 0-1 to Carolina right now. Carolina's been playing really well, but man, the Devils are a good team, man. They score goals. And then I'll go with the last 2. I'll go Vegas and Seattle Kraken. The teams out west to get it done.
I love Seattle so much, dude. They're so much. They're like when Vegas came in as their expansion, like when their expansion came in, it's exactly how I feel with Seattle. So I think it'd be fun to watch those 2 play.
They've got like the same energy, like coming out of Seattle. It's pretty cool. But that's not my only hot take, just in case it's not done by next week. So for UFC this weekend, pretty decent card. I'm gonna go with Aljamain Sterling in the main event to beat Henry Cejudo, and then I'm gonna parlay that with the co-main Gilbert Burns to beat Bilal Muhammad. And just wait one more minute. We're going back to the darts well. I'm bringing back darts. Later today, we got a match. Kim Hubrex is taking on Ricky Evans, and I'm taking the underdog Ricky to win it. Ricky over Kim Hubrex.
Gosh, the darts. That was a funny episode. If no one's ever seen that, you got to go find that. Rishi would not pick like a college football playoff, and he was like, "We're gonna go with darts this week."
All right. So the reason I wanted to go last is because out of everything that's happening this weekend, there is a massive, massive event going on. Tomorrow is the Kentucky Derby, folks. So my hot take is going to be going to the Kentucky Derby. I wanted to go through a few of the horses that were a little underdogs.
I'm putting a superfecta down then.
I'm going to pick a few of the underdogs that I think that could win this thing. I'll start talking about the favorites. We have Forte, Angel of Empire. They are the two favorites right now to win, as long with Tapid Trice. Those three are the favorites. But I have three dark horses that can win this thing. Out of the number one spot, this is going to be very tough, but it is a very good horse. It's Hit Show. 30-1 odds to win this. I think that horse can have a very good race. One I just like as a dark horse personally is Confidence Game. Confidence Game is a dark horse to win this thing. And another horse that has lost his last few races, but the losses are to Forte and Angel of Empire, but has competed with them, I read, is Rocket Can. So Rocket Can is those three. I hope one of them can win the Kentucky Derby. Three dark horses, long shots to win, all at 20-1 odds or above, and they'll probably get steeper as the day moves on yet tomorrow.
All right, I'm going trifecta, and this is perfect lining, guys. This means if they don't get this position, I don't win. I don't win. We're going with Mr. Cyclone Mischief to win first spot. I watch one of these horses is going to scratch before the race, and I'm going to start crying. Cyclone Mischief, he's our number one horse. We're going to go with Derma Sotagate. He's 10-1 odds. I don't know. By the way, I have not read on any of these horses, so I'm just genuinely making takes right now.
Yeah, and Cyclone Mischief is nice at 65-1. He is the longest shot in the field.
I see him at 30-1 right now.
I'm on ESPN, so I don't know.
I'm on CBS. Sun Thunder is 50-1, and that's the worst horse. But I'm gonna go with Two Phils to be my third place winner. I don't know. I forgot the Kentucky Derbies this weekend. That's like one of my favorite things to watch. Oh, let's go.
What is always with the names of the horses?
They're most of them are from like Saudi Arabia, so they name them some weird things. All right, but it's been a good show, guys. We'll be back next week, of course. We'll have a lot to talk about in the NBA playoffs. I don't know what NFL segment will look like. I don't know. We might talk about some other stuff. We could have maybe we bring back the tier list. Maybe it's a tier list week, and we give our tier list for the next season of the NFL. But we will be back with some kind of programming to keep you guys busy on your summer break. But have a great rest of your week and finals, and enjoy the summer. It's here now.